Performance marketing is all about driving sales with ads. I'm sure a lot of you already know. So what it also means is, in this context, surface level metrics like impressions, views, clicks are probably not as relevant. So today I'll be sharing some insights, especially on the mindset, on how to improve your performance marketing efforts. Before I get started, let me just introduce ourselves again. So I'm the founder of Z21, an e-commerce growth agency. We do two things: traffic, which is driving people to your site, and conversion, which is converting your visitors into buyers. These are some of the points I'll be covering today. So I'll spend some time on the e-commerce mindset, the performance marketing insights, the data analytics, and finally summarize everything. Are we ready? All right, let's start with this statement. E-commerce is more similar with offline retail than you think. Why I always say this is, I've spoken to many business owners, and the common theme that I see is people tend to overcomplicate e-com. Okay, but end of the day, you just need to know that e-com or offline, people who buy from you, they are your customers. It's just a different channel. It's just a different means to do it. Okay, so today I want you to walk away with a mindset where you have an obsession over your customers, obsession over the customer journey. Okay, so don't overcomplicate e-com. How many of you think that ads are a sales generator? This is actually a false mindset. People are raising their hands. Yeah, while ads are powerful, they are able to bring you sales, but I think your mindset to approach ads shouldn't be, sales generating. Then what are ads? Ads, very simple, is only a traffic channel. So there's no obligation from ad platforms to provide you, to guarantee you with certain number of sales just because you spend on them. And it is actually very similar to the offline space. Shopping malls, especially in Southeast Asia, I think Philippines, you have the SM group of companies, right? The shopping malls. In Malaysia, we will have the Pavilion, the Gardens Mall, and stuff like that. So ad spend is essentially just a cost of buying traffic. Shopping mall rental, same thing, cost of buying traffic. Okay, it is what you sell, how you present your brand, how your promoter assist your customers, or how your customer service agents assist them, that determine how much sales you will generate. Okay, let me bring you through the concept of percentage of sales. So I think many companies, when they try to digitize, when they try to expand to e-com, especially those coming with an offline background, right? They love to pre-allocate budget. Okay, I think the most rigid plans that I have seen, sometimes they pre-plan budget for the entire year. So from January to December, all the way, they already know how much they're going to spend on ads without knowing how much they will generate on their sales. Okay, so what you need to know is, yes, while ad spend and shopping mall rentals are very similar, ad spend is a lot more flexible because we can adjust the budget anytime we want. Okay, shopping mall rentals, yes, you may need to sign a lease of like 2 or 3 years to get in. So don't bring the offline mindset to online. Okay, understand the similarities, but also understand the differences. Marketing costs versus marketing investments. So when you pre-allocate budget, typically it is for MNC, the multinational corporates that do this. Pre-allocate the whole year. They usually treat it as like a small portion of their marketing spend, let's say 1% of their revenue. Because companies like this, even if they do not spend on ads, they will survive, they will still thrive. Let me ask you a question. If Coca-Cola stopped advertising, would you still be drinking Coca-Cola? You would, and probably the rest of the population as well. But most of that would be a unicorn, right? These brands have already made it. But the reality is, for the majority of other brands, there are so many medium-sized businesses on Shopify. Let's not talk about the plus ones. I think it is very important for us to treat marketing as an investment. So don't pay for eyeballs. We should always allocate our ad spend based on how much sales we can generate. And some of you may ask, so how many percent of my sales should I allocate on ad spend? It is very similar with offline retail. Normally, you guys would be allocating 20% to 30% of your sales to ads or rentals. Okay. Of course, it depends on many factors. This is just a one-size-fits-all one number that I can share. Typically, the more established your brand is, the more returning customers you have, the lower the percentage of sales you have to allocate. Okay. But for most brands, they are starting out, maybe sometimes they even have to spend up to half of their sales, 50%. Okay, but it is a number that we can slowly work backwards and reduce over time. Now let me start talking about the actual topic, performance marketing. I'll talk about how to build a sales funnel and also how should you approach online channel. This is the sales funnel. I believe most of you have seen this ice cream cone shape before. Let me explain a little bit. We usually use temperature to measure how interested your customers are. If you are familiar with the term cold calling, cold emailing, it is actually the same term that we are using here to describe the lead. Okay, this person from the cold layer, usually they would know nothing about your brand. Okay, they could just be any social media user who has never heard of your brand. When you move down one level, they are slightly more interested. Maybe they have watched a video you posted before. Maybe they have liked your video before, commented before, but they still don't exactly know who you are. The person at the hot level, these are the people who have, let's say, added something to carts on your store, viewed a few products on your store. We know that these people are very invested. And existing customers, these are the people who have bought from you at least once before. Okay. The main part I want to highlight here is the budget split guidelines. So typically we will be spending around 70% of our budgets on the cold layer. Okay. Retargeting around 20%. We just treat warm and hot as retargeting together. And retention to retarget your existing customers is usually around 10%. Sometimes I see brands spending half of their budget on retention. What this will do, you just imagine a wet towel, right? You try to squeeze it. Eventually, the towel becomes so dry that you can barely squeeze any liquid out of it anymore. So we typically don't recommend spending too much on retention unless you have a sales campaign. So this time of the year, you have like Christmas, Double 11, Double 12, Double 10. It is okay to spend slightly more on retention. We may be able to go up to 30%, but still never more than that. There is actually a statistic from MetaSite saying that a lot of customers actually discover your brand and buy from your brand for the first time during such festivals. Okay, so don't have the mindset that only your current customers will buy from you again just because they have a reduced price, right? You can actually push a lot of your budget through this retargeting window and prospecting window as well. Okay, something that we do, I think a good tip for you to walk away with is, let's say usually you retarget 30 days of your website visitors, past website visitors. On campaign periods where you have really attractive promotions, you know that your customers should not miss out on this good deal. You can actually extend the window all the way to, let's say, 180 days. Okay, although someone hasn't been to your site for quite a long time, it doesn't mean that they will never be interested, right? Okay, one question that I get asked a lot is, yes, this is a good guideline, 70-20-10, but how do you really know whether you are spending a good percentage of your budget on each levels? Because we do have brands who have like 500,000 customers in the past few years that they have been around. So obviously for this kind of brand, we can spend a lot more on retention, probably up to 20% as well. If you have never seen this column before, Facebook actually has Ads Manager actually has a column called frequency. Okay, frequency determines how often your ads show up. Something we love to do is measure the frequency for per week basis, which means if I view the column of the past 7 days, what is the frequency? Okay, a very healthy level for prospecting would be a frequency of less than 1.5, which means in the past week, they have seen your ads less than 1.5 times on average. Anything more than that, you are probably overspending. Okay. Down the levels, it is okay to show your ads more often because you know that these people have shown interest already. Sorry, I skipped to the wrong slide. It is okay to spend more. So maybe showing them your ads 2.5 times a week is totally fine. Okay, same with retention, also around 2 to 2.5 times a week. If your frequency goes beyond this level, you probably should cut back on your spending here and put more on the co-layer. Okay. What we find is the co-layer will almost never run out of audience because almost the entire population is on Meta family of apps. So it's pretty difficult to fatigue that audience. Now I want to talk a little bit about content. So now that you have an understanding of the funnel, right? Please do not use one size fits all content. This is something that is a big red flag. I have an example for you. Let's say, what does a cold content look like? Usually we will talk about the unique selling points, remove scars and dark spots in just 21 days. So this is a skincare product. Okay. The warm audience and hot audience, usually the content is quite similar. We will use a lot of reviews. Okay. You can see in this case, reviews and reviews. And retargeting. Someone who is very familiar with your brand or someone who has bought from you before, it is okay to show this. Now let me reverse what I just said. Imagine seeing this ad the first time you come into contact with this brand. I have no idea who this is, but they are telling me they have a flash promo of 15%. You probably wouldn't care. Okay. On the other hand, if Nike shows you a flash 15% off, you care because you are a hot customer. Okay. A good rule of thumb is make content assuming your audience knows nothing about you. Yeah, this is a good rule of thumb. And do not use promo for your co-layer. Yeah, someone who doesn't already know your brand, someone who has no desire to buy your products. Yeah, don't try to sell them with lower pricing. The next tip is customers are motivated differently. If you're only doing one type of content, chances are, I think there are a lot of other low-hanging fruits you can explore. So like unique selling point is a good one. Fear of missing out. If they see that, wow, looks like a lot of people out there are already using this product, but I am not using it yet. So fear of missing out is a good one. Value or price. If you're a brand like Oxford in Malaysia or Uniqlo, they usually mention a lot about value. And also urgency. Yeah, urgency usually works more on the retargeting level. Here I have a few videos to show you to explain to you what I mean. What I have just shown you is a pure product demonstration video. No one is talking at all. Okay. So this could be one angle, right? It is also an unboxing angle. I think you should also evaluate the strengths of your brand. If you invest a lot more on packaging than your competitors, maybe that is something to shout about. Yes, there may be a surprise factor, right? Or after I buy, only I know you have such amazing packaging. But that could also be a selling point that you can talk about before they buy from you.
This is how to tackle dry, dull skin and signs of aging. With Bacatual Sky Dew Cloud Moisturizer. Did you know that hot, humid weather can cause skin irritation and dehydration? This product, it's a super hydrator. It helps skin retain its moisture and stimulates skin renewal. It is infused with potent, effective ingredients such.
I will not play the whole thing because I think we don't have much time. In this case, we have an influencer. It could be someone that has very few followers, like 5,000 or below, or someone with no followers at all. I think it is okay, as long as the content is good. So notice a few things. The dimension. Okay, this is a Reels format. Instagram Reels, TikTok, and also Instagram Stories. Okay. This is what we call the mobile first format. It is usually a 9:16 aspect ratio. Second thing, look at the duration. It is only 30 seconds. I do not know why people, traditional brands are very obsessed with like 5-minute videos. I think that is something that you shouldn't do. The third thing is the subtitles. Most people actually view videos with their sound off. Okay, so if you have someone speaking the video, make sure that you have subtitles. All right, so these two videos are for the exact same product, but it is a different way to sell it. Because your customers are motivated differently, just like what I said earlier. Certain people are more, they can resonate more if someone talks about the product. Okay, some other people may resonate more if they only look at what the product does, no one talking.
This is how to drive down.
Okay, we have more examples. Over here, we have 2 more aspect ratios to explain to you. So this one is square, the one on the left, 1:1. The one on the right is slightly vertical, but not exactly full screen. It is 4:5. If you are creating ads for placements such as the Facebook feed and Instagram feed, fun fact, these 2 placements have the most supply, which means you can spend the most on these 2 placements. You can actually shoot in this format, 4:5. Certain brands do not have so much resources to spend to just to edit the video to be square and edit the video to be vertical. I would say a one-size-fits-all format that is quite acceptable, okay, and works pretty well would be the 4:5 ratio. Okay, this way your ad can show up on the feed, it can show up on the stories, it can show up on the reels. You don't have to redesign everything. Again, let me show you the videos. Yep, there you have it. A video with no one speaking, but they basically use captions to explain the benefits of this product. And you may notice earlier, they also have the graphics here. Okay, I think this should be inspired by TV advertising, like 10 years ago kind of format. I think our mindset is not so fixated on, oh, we only want to try what works now. But it's more on the open-mindedness that we want to try everything. Okay. This is also a product-focused video, talking more on the unique selling point. What's the conclusion? Test. You should at least be testing more than 15 creatives a month. Okay. You should look at it as creatives as your bullets. If you don't have bullets, you cannot shoot. All right. If you are shooting without bullets, you are wasting money. Okay, because it's not effective. 15, that's a lot. Actually, we have brands that produce like 50 creatives a month. So 15 is actually not that much. It does not have to be unique content. So here is the misconception. Like, let me repeat earlier. Let's say I talk about this video. 39 seconds. Okay. Did you know that most people only watch the video for 4 seconds? That means you could say that the first 4 seconds are the most important part of the video. For this exact same creative, just by having a different hook, we call it the hook, the first 4 seconds, the video will perform differently. Okay, so 15 could be, let's say I just produced 3 different hooks for this exact video. I can just count it as 3 creatives, right? So don't be scared seeing the number 15. Okay, you should see this as a, like, let's say I use the horse racing analogy, right? You have 10 horses. Okay, you want to get to the destination as fast as possible. Without testing, let's say I just randomly pick a horse, right? Horse number 8. I give him all my carrots, all my investments, all my best trainers. and I just pray that this horse will run the fastest in the race. Compared to in the beginning, I will just give all of the horses a little bit of resources and see which one has the talent to go far. And only when I find out that I continue investing in that horse. So this should be your mindset. Okay, don't go all in unknown. Okay, I think that is a little bit like gambling. So please do not do that. You need to spread your risk. At least know what works first. All right. Do not spend blindly. Only spend on what works. Okay, and how usually we love to test it with number of impressions. So I think someone will ask me how much to test on an ad later, but I will just address it now. Impressions. Typically, what we do is if we show a new ad, we will just test it with, let's say, 5,000 or 6,000 impressions. Okay. If 1,000 impression costs you $5, then 5,000 would be like $25. Okay. That's the cost to test one ad. Okay. But that is typically fine because in the whole month, you're probably spending $10,000 or $15,000. Some brands even more, right? Spending 6 figures a month, right? So we should identify the product that has the lowest CPA as well to have a healthy inflow of new customers. So what I mean is actually these two brands that I showed you earlier, they have a lot of products, probably like 10 different products. Okay, but the buying behavior of these products are always different. Do not assume that your whole store will perform at the same level because certain products will outshine the others. Okay. So as long as you have stock, then just keep focusing on the product that sells well. For your long tail products that do not sell as well, I think it is okay because we can still sell them as a second purchase. Maybe we do not expect them to buy this product from your brand for the first time, but maybe for the second or third time. All right. Now I will talk about, in my opinion, something that's not so boring. So products with a different buying behavior. All right. This is one of our clients selling Lego products in Malaysia. So even the same store, right? There's so many different buying behavior. There's Disney, there's Marvel, Minecraft, Ninjago, Batman. So we shouldn't treat all of them the same, right? Because some products, maybe they are sold to kids. Okay, even kids, we have girls and boys. Some products are sold to adults. Okay, let's say I am a huge fan of architecture, or I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise. Okay, this kind of products are usually sold to the adults. Okay, the last thing you want to do is just upload your entire store into a catalog and just advertise. So we call that the spray and pray method. If it works, we congratulate you. But if it doesn't work, probably you need to segment better. So what we do here is very simple. Think from a customer's point of view. Let's say today I visit this Lego shop. I viewed the Star Wars BB-8 Lego product. Tomorrow I get retargeted from Lego, and Lego is asking me to buy, let's say, what is a kid's product? Minifigures maybe, or a Duplo. I don't even know what this is. But just because I'm interested in Lego doesn't mean I'm interested in their entire collection. I'm only interested in the Star Wars collection. So what we can do here is to retarget based on the easiest way to retarget is actually based on URL, because there's no additional setup needed. You can just create a custom audience on Facebook and say URL contains Star Wars. Okay, and I will just use the creatives for Star Wars related products only to retarget this group of audience. All right. If your naming scheme is inconsistent, you can actually use custom label. So when you upload your product listing, there's a column called custom label 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it is called Google Shopping / custom label. So Google Shopping and Facebook catalog actually use the same column. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't want to go into too much technical today, but you can feel free to make your own research. The next thing, I want to share a little bit on lookalike. Okay, this relates a little bit to the previous example. For example, if I create a lookalike on all Lego buyers and try to get more people to buy Lego, I have a great intention, right? You know, I want to sell more for Lego. But it probably will not work because the customer buying behavior are different. What you should do is, as I said earlier, let's say I create a whole collection of all past buyers for the Star Wars collection. I create a lookalike based on this audience, and I only try to sell the Star Wars collection to this group of lookalike. and you can just repeat it for all your collections. Okay. Actually, even if you do not have, I think this is a bit of an extreme. Most brands probably will not have this kind of vastly different buying behaviors. So even for your brand, let's say you sell t-shirt and long pants. I think t-shirt and long pants also have slightly different buying behavior. Maybe they're a lot more similar than Star Wars and Duplo, but it will still be a little bit different. Yeah, no harm trying out. Another segment you can try is by spending. Okay, you can actually export your audience based on the higher spenders. So you can do that on Shopify. You can also do that straight within Meta Ads Manager. So we usually use both and combine together. Okay, so you can pick all your top 10% spenders. Okay, and you try to find people who hopefully will spend the same amount as this group of audience. All right, let me move on. 3 out of 4 shoppers hop between multiple channels. Okay, I shared a little bit about this yesterday. It is actually the same video. So imagine your audience, or just imagine yourself. You discover a new product on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, but you ultimately go around to all platforms, right? You go to Google, you go to other like Shopee, Lazada to try to make some research. So what we want to do is take an online channel approach. Okay. Far too often, I've spoken to brands that are relying on one channel. That's not very healthy. Okay, especially recently, Meta loves to ban people's Facebook page for no reason. So suddenly their main sales channel is gone. Okay, try to diversify your risk. I think Ethan has shared a lot of helpful tips on Google earlier. I think Google is a next best channel after Meta. And it also depends on the buying behavior, right? Certain brands work better on Google, certain brands work better on Facebook, and certain brands work better on Instagram. Yep, the common mistake, relying on only one channel for brand growth. Find out where your target audiences are. Our most common finding would be Facebook and Instagram, the age differences. So I think nowadays the younger crowds are not on Facebook anymore. They are more on Instagram. Okay, maybe this is a good breakdown that you can do on your ads. Try to run different placements and see how they work. Okay, maybe Facebook is not a good channel for your brand. Or if you are targeting more of the middle-aged crowds, then maybe Instagram is not so much of a good channel for you. Okay, again, what I'm saying this is, what I'm all suggesting is testing ideas. I'm not saying it definitely does not work for you. Please don't take things out of context. You definitely have to test first to know. All right, and lastly, be present on multiple platforms. Which brings us to our next topic. Lots of people are not using email. Okay, people are very defensive when I talk about email marketing. Huh? Do people still open their emails? Yes, the answer is yes. Typically, we see 20 to 30% of revenue coming from email. So it is actually a huge low-hanging fruit that people are not utilizing. Of course, this number is usually on campaign periods. If you don't have campaigns, maybe it is at around 15% of your sales instead of 30%. All right. We recommend you to have a few flows. Recognize I use the keyword flow. Some people also use automations. Okay, it is the same thing. We usually use the software Klaviyo. I think Klaviyo is the best email marketing tool for Shopify brands. I think Shopify invested in them as well. Okay, we recommend a few flows like the welcome flow. So people who have not bought from you before, you probably want to explain your story, the brand story, the founder story, why this brand started. Okay, abandoned cart. It's very important. Klaviyo is can you give us the brand name here? Oxwhite. Oxwhite is a brand name. OXWHITE. Yeah, this email flow is done by our team, so you can actually just opt into the newsletter and see what we have done. Okay, and try to add to cart certain items, right? So did you know that if your entire store has like 100 products, and I only add to cart, let's say the product SKU number 5 and number 10, what Klaviyo will do is bring the exact 2 products that I've added to cart and send it to my email. Just imagine how personalized this email is. Okay, and with just the click of a button back to cart, I am brought back to the checkout page. Okay, and Shopify also saves your payment information. The billing information. Okay, so it's a very seamless journey. People do not have to go back to your home page, try to find the product again. I think that's the biggest difference between Klaviyo and other providers like MailChimp. which is more basic, or like Drip, Send in Blue, Omni Send. There are a lot of them actually. Okay. This is some metrics that we want to track is the open rate. Typically, we want to aim for around 25 to 30%. Click rate, 7-8% during campaign periods would be good. Sorry, skip the slide. And also subscriber growth. Usually, subscriber growth, we use opt-ins to entice people to sign up. So this is the most common example. Enjoy 10% off on your next purchase. Okay, let me move on. So what's the benefit of email marketing? As I said earlier, capture leads. Majority of the people from social media who come to your brand, just starting to discovering what your brand is about, they are not ready to buy on the first session. Typically, it's on the second or third session that they're ready to make the purchase. So what we can do here is capture the lead first. At least we want to extract some database, right? The customer's email. Okay. You can build trust with your potential customers. It doesn't have to be very salesy email. And also, abandoned cart recovery can be another benefit. And lastly, improving your brand loyalty and lifetime value. This is a topic I shared a little bit yesterday. I want to speed up. I think time is running out. So as I said, online channel, right? SMS and WhatsApp are also two channels that we found work incredibly well recently. So you can actually just install Wati, W-A-T-I, to your Shopify store, and you can set up the WhatsApp abandoned cart pretty easily. Okay. For SMS, we love to use SMS Bump, SMS B-U-M-P. Okay. Fun fact, SMS Bump, you pay per email, and we typically see a 30x return, which means every dollar we spend on SMS Bump, we get around $30 in sales. Okay, and that's pretty consistent across many of our clients. Last topic, data analytics. Stop the guesswork. So what are some of the benefits? Very good KPI setting, very good understanding of your brand and audience, and also identifying certain behaviors of your customers. I have touched on this quite a lot yesterday, but I'll just go through it a little bit here as well. So what we're trying to achieve here is to see the ad metric, unique click-through rate, CPM, and ultimately the cost per click. This is what happens on the ad platform. The site metric, whether people are viewing your products, adding to cart, checking out, purchasing. This is the site metrics. How you perform, how you execute on your ads and your site will determine your core metrics, which is your sales. Okay. What is your sales? What is your average order value and stuff? So we have this kind of sheet for all of our clients, and we usually break it down into tabs. So what I'm showing you here is just one of the tabs. We have a tab dedicated for Google Ads, dedicated for Meta Ads, and also one dedicated for site metrics. Some of the success challenges, this brand, we have worked with them for around 3 years now, and we have seen an increase in revenue of around 600%. You could actually say that our team have grown together as a team because we face a lot of problems with this account, which means we managed to overcome a lot of problems as well. Okay. And Klav, this is the brand I showed you earlier. It's also a 473% growth in sales year over year. This is comparing 2021 and this year, 2022. And summary, know your product, know your audience, stay curious, and keep testing.